I was blessed with a very Catholic family. I went to a Catholic school most of my life, and I would say that since I was very young, I felt that kind of call from God to serve Him. Suddenly, out of the blue, the idea came up in my mind. It was a retreat in my junior year of high school, and the priest was talking about his own vocation and how when a priest was talking to him one day, he thought, why not me? And it was an instant. I was having spiritual direction with a priest who was a pastor in Buenos Aires, and he was with the idea, he had the idea of founding a new order. When he shared with me the charism of the order, I felt an immediate connection. The charism of Miles Christi is the sanctification of the laity, particularly young men and women. And I love working with the young people. I love allowing people to grow in their spiritual life. I love to help them. So I thought, this is what I want to do. Once the order was founded, the normal religious life started. I was still living with my parents, but then the moment came when I had to leave my home, which was hard. I was 21 years old when I entered the novitiate, and it was after a year when I received the habit of Miles Christi, which makes a huge change in your life, because from being a normal young man, you become a religious, and people look at you in a different way. After I received the habit, I taught for a couple of years in our own seminary, and then I was sent to Rome to study theology. So I spent almost 3 years in Rome studying theology, and it was a wonderful experience to live in the eternal city, not only because of the quality of your studies, but mainly because you are where the Holy Father is. I was ordained a priest in 2002 in Argentina. I worked in the House of Formation as a professor. I was a spiritual director. I was also Dean of Studies. I also was a secretary of the order for a few years. Then I was a pastor in a beautiful parish, a small parish in Luján, where we have our mother house. And then I was called to the United States. So I arrived here. I love what I do. I love my mission. I love the people here. I love to serve God's people in this country. So it's been a great blessing. It was a big surprise. It took me between 6 and 8 months to adjust to the culture. Our culture is pretty different, but once you adjust, you are like a fish in water, and I love being in the States. I have a lot of things that I do here in the States. First and foremost, obviously in our house, just being with the community, organizing the community, which is something that I really love to do. In our center, celebrating the Mass, receiving a lot of people for spiritual direction. I have meetings every single day for many hours. And also, I get to travel quite a bit in the States, preaching the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola. I've been in 14 states already, and it's just my mission, and I love that. I get to work a lot with young people, which is also very, very nice, being with people who are growing not only humanly, but also spiritually. The main dream is always to help people become saints. And my main dream is when the moment comes to meet Jesus in person and to say, well, Jesus, this is what I did for you.